Why do you have sweet garlic bread?
What are your thoughts about wearing matching items?
Just a bit weird. Technology-wise, I was really impressed with the amount of electric vehicles.
Hello?
Oh.
No, stop it. Do you want to make an introduction?
About what career was like, really, isn't it? I've got some questions.
I've got some stuff written down, actually.
Probably not a great idea to eat crisps whilst doing this.
Okay, I'll stop eating crisps.
Hello everyone and welcome to Min Lee's YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about Jack's experience of queer.
Can you be a bit normal?
No.
Okay. Some of the most unique things about having visited Korea. Seeing cyclists cycling on the pavement, but you don't do that here.
Here, that's illegal to ride your bike on the pavement. You need to ride it in the road.
And the number of coffee shops, I think it was.
Oh, it was crazy, the number of coffee shops. Like, everywhere you look was a coffee shop. I don't understand, like, coffee shops would just not exist in that number because you can't support it.
We have so many coffee shops and the coffee demand is so high that, you know, they're also open till 10 p.m, 11 p.m. And you come here, the coffee shops close at 4:30. Coffee culture. I tried to tell you about it before, but now you understand why I'm obsessed with Gales, at least. Yeah,
I mean, the other thing as well is that they're all independent. It's not like that any of them are really chains except for Starbucks and like the Mega Coffee one and that.
Yeah, Mega Coffee.
But there's so many that they're independent, and that's quite cool.
Yeah. And another thing that was a bit bizarre was how we said we're not going to eat crisps. Can I have one? What are your thoughts about Koreans wearing matching items?
Just a bit weird. Like no one's that intertwined that you need to be like that. Like, I don't really understand it. I can't why. No, it's hard to put into words why it's so weird. It just doesn't feel right. It feels really forced and unnatural, and I think that's probably the reason. Like, here, people are, generally speaking, encouraged to be quite individual and like do what they want and not need to conform to anything. Whereas I feel like in Korea, you have to conform to things to try and make it look like you are in a certain way. So like, people are very smartly dressed, or people deliberately, like makeup wise and stuff like that. You would never do that in the UK. Yeah. Because you don't try and be someone that you aren't. That's a blanket statement, right? And there are certainly British people that are like that. So I feel like the whole matching clothes thing is like,
part of that.
Oh, well, I need to show that we're a couple, etc., etc. Yeah. And if I wear matching clothes, it's obvious. I don't really understand why that's needed. At least in British culture, it isn't. I think it's also seen as quite an immature thing. I appreciate there might be reasons for it in Korea.
Yeah, well, I personally don't see reasons for it myself. We'd celebrate like the 100th day since you've been going out. In England, nobody cares. You just don't have that sort of external showing of that you're a couple and that you love each other, because you just do, and you don't need to really like make a fuss about it. It could be a helpful statement for you guys to understand, because if you come here and you're dating a British guy or a lady, if you give her a matching ring, I don't think that's going to go down very well.
No, that would just be deemed a bit weird. Like,
that is absolutely a disaster. I love the convenience shops that you've got dotted around everywhere.
What would you say makes the Korean one so much better?
It's open 24/7.
Well, that is something we don't have. Yeah, 24/7 opening.
Sainsbury's and like mini supermarkets here are supermarkets, so like E-Mart or Home Plus, a smaller version of those. So lots of fresh food, but actually convenience stores in Korea are a lot more, you know, fast food, sort of like takeaway, quick grab and go sort of stuff. Public transport is incredible. I don't think you paid much for public transport, because the second one that you change into is pretty much free.
Once you get past the fact that you can't pay as a Westerner in any sort of traditional Western means, other than going and putting cash in a machine and getting a ticket out that way, because we don't have T-Pay here.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't use Google Pay, etc. Once you get past that, it's so much better. Air conditioning, a lot more room.
Oh, so nice.
Nice and clean. Like, all the lines, particularly Metro, I'm thinking here, was developed in the last, 40, 50 years? Mm-hmm. Whereas a lot of the stuff, for example, in London, particularly, okay? London Underground's been around for like 150 years. London's a screwed up place for like infrastructure because it's just been around for so long and it's just not built for all of the modern age technologies that humans have, right? But when you go to a city that's been more newly developed, they've had the opportunity to do it properly and like build like proper infrastructure, right? So we're always playing catch up here and we just never will be as good.
Obviously, if we talk about Korea growing quickly, the main thing is about technology, right? So Wi-Fi everywhere.
If you're just in cities in Korea, as a foreigner, you really don't need to have a SIM card. Like, you can pretty much just get away with linking up onto everyone's Wi-Fi. That was really, really good, particularly in comparison to here, because everyone's really stingy in the UK when it comes to like Wi-Fi. They're like, oh, you must have a password.
Yeah,
it must be
everybody
password.
locks it. And
What else have we got in there?
I've got so many. I wanted to talk about tech, but then apart from Wi-Fi, I didn't really know what there is. I think it is actually a big problem how we can't use like Apple Pay or like Google Pay. It does make your life really, really difficult.
Really, really limiting
Really
as a
difficult.
Western person.
Like really difficult.
Because it is very frustrating.
Because in London, you can use any card that you usually use or a phone to use the public transport. You can't use cash now anymore.
Yeah.
That's actually the opposite way around. So that's something that is quite annoying. I was so surprised because we have this culture of putting the card in, inserting the IC chip without entering a code or anything. But in England, everything is contactless. This is a massive hypothesis. I'm wondering whether it's because Americans don't use contactless. I don't know whether that has anything to do with South Korea being influenced by American stuff. Contactless makes life very easy, and I do like it. Not that it adds too much time.
Technology-wise, I was really impressed with the amount of electric vehicles in Korea.
Really?
Yeah. That was really good to see.
Oh, right.
I think that happens as a result of the fact that Korean companies make some of the best electric vehicles in the world, right? That was really cool. That was really cool to see.
We were trying to get into an Ioniq 5. Yeah, and we managed to get into one. And I loved it. Loved it, yeah. Speaking of cars, obviously I was chauffeuring you around. The parking, I think, is really good. Like, if I have to park in London, I'm screwed.
In London, if you had loads of car parks, which isn't really possible because we don't have the space for it, even if you did somehow, our road system's not set up for it, right? Most roads in Seoul are at least 4 lanes because the country's been able to be built like that. Obviously, except for like the Hanok villages and the stuff, the more historical stuff, which is obviously single road. Whereas in the UK, pretty much every part of London is like the Hanok villages in terms of like quite narrow streets, only 1 lane. Like, you go through central London and there's like a couple of places where there's like maybe 4 lanes across, as in 2 on either side of the road. That's it. Also, your car park prices are not ridiculously expensive like they are here.
What's the
100 quid in Chelsea for a day or something? Or 80 quid, yeah.
A day?
Yeah. They'll absolutely rinse you, so. Oh, chicken's ready.
Do you need to go?
I need to go for the chicken, but I can be back.
And obviously, as a driver, I really appreciate like how wide the roads are and how nice the road surfaces are as well. Talking about convenience, the services in South Korea is noticeably better, like very, very good and really quick as well. So if you order something, you can press a bell, and that's the most amazing thing if you want good quick service. Potentially it's because us Koreans want things done quicker and we tend to have that culture, whereas in England the culture's to be more laid back and quite chill. Another really bizarre thing is how you call cider. How cider is Sprite, whereas in England cider is cider.
Cider?
Yeah.
Like, we've been producing apple juice as alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is what cider is in this country.
Yeah.
That term has been around for quite some time. But I wonder where it came from. It must have come from someone said something.
My hypothesis is the brand of the drink is called 칠성 사이다. Just because that brand was so successful, we started calling it cider, which is the last part of the name. But anyway, in England, if you ask for cider, you will get an alcoholic drink, which is very lovely, actually.
Amazing.
So it's not a bad mistake to make. Here, if you wanted the equivalent of 칠성 사이다, here would be Sprite. I tasked Jack to go and get Powerade, and I said, if you can't find Powerade, can you get Pocari Sweat? And I obviously had to try it, like say it in an English accent so that Jack could understand. And I was like, Pocari Sweat. And Jack was like, what? Sweat? You want a sweat drink?
It just sounds disgusting.
It sounds absolutely
like
horrific.
Sweat, which is just...
So if Pocari Sweat wants to launch in England, a very good idea. You just need to change your name.
Just call it Pocari or something.
Yeah, Pocari. It's quite a good name, actually.
Yeah, just
Pocari.
not the sweat
Not
bit.
the sweat bit. Do you officially admit that Korean food is better? Yes or no, that's it. That's all I'm going to take.
I'm gonna say yes.
I was going to wrap up, but do you want to... I'll give you an opportunity to rant about the garlic bread.
Why do you have sweet garlic bread? Someone just answer in the comments. Explain why you have to put sugar in garlic bread. Why? Someone explain, please. Like, yeah. I'll say no more. It's like someone got confused. They were like they were making garlic bread, and then they like suddenly got confused, and they were like, "Oh Christ! I've decided I'm making a cake now, but it's got garlic in it." What?
You walk into a Korean bakery, and like 90% of the stuff is sweet.
95%.
95% of the stuff is sweet. We're just sweet.
Just there's no need for so much.
Just sweet. This is the thing. I disagree. I like it.
Okay.
I prefer it sweet. And we're Korean, so we can keep it the way we want it.
Anyway, I'm speaking to Korean, so this isn't... No, I was going to say, like, go to Korea, but...
Everyone is in Korea.
Super cool just to see so much going on. Like, super active place. Jeju's super nice. Yeah, I don't know, it's just like a cultural experience, like...
Yeah, how was your...
Super cool.
How was your tour guide then?
She was very good. The experience would have been not that great, I would suggest, without her. I think you can enjoy Korea as a Westerner, but if there's Westerners watching this, go, but get yourself a Korean friend who either lives there or wants to travel with you before you go. Looked after me very, very well, so thank you very much to them.
We look after you.
Korean hospitality.
Top service.
Come ask me that.